We're going to talk about the test format, talk about some due dates for next week or whatever, and then take some homework questions and get out of your way and let you guys work on your reviews or problem set or whatever is the highest priority math thing for you guys. Everybody cool with the plan? Alrighty, let's do it. Test description. You're going to have 2 questions where you're converting between radians and degrees. What do you need to have memorized to do that? The conversion factor, right? Pi over 180 or 180 over pi, depending on which way you're going. You have 5 arc length formula problem questions. What's the arc length equation? S equals r theta, provided you're in radians. If you're not, you can convert it to radians, or you can add on the conversion factor to the end of the equation. Either way, it's doing the same thing. 1 question will ask you to solve the triangle geometry style. 3 questions will ask you to draw the standard position angle. A word on this, on the homework quiz, I got a whole bunch of variations of like things that resembled a correct answer that I was probably lenient on. An angle should have 2 arms to it, so you need to draw on the initial side and the terminal side. And then the rotation mark needs to match the angle that I'm giving you, not something coterminal to it. But you should actually do the angle that I'm giving you and include the number of rotations either forward or backwards, depending on the type of angle. Everybody's on the quiz. I think if you had the terminal side in the right spot, I probably gave you the benefit of the doubt, but I had to have at least the terminal side in the right spot. 2 questions. We're asking you to find the exact value of a trig function. What are we going to be doing to do that? Yeah, probably the unit circle, right? Write the 6 trig ratios using a point on the terminal side of a standard position angle. So that's just like that's like an XY point, but it's like problem like 59 and 60 from the problem set, or there are a bunch of problems like that on the review in the worksheet. Find the exact value for I'm wrong on the numbers. Scratch that. That wasn't the numbers from the problem set. My apologies. 1 question when we find the exact value for a trig ratio given information on the other ratio or ratios. That's like 59 and 60. And then there's problems like that on the worksheet in the review. 1 question where you use the unit circle to evaluate a trig expression. This is like these last questions at the end of the review, like here, where it basically just becomes like an order of operations question almost, where you look up the values off the unit circle and then you have to like add some fractions and crap like that. And then I have 2 questions at the end that are recyclers from the first test, because these were probably the most missed stuff from the first test, and they're kind of important for the next set of topics we're going to do. So we're just going to ask you to take another look at these 2 topics. So the first question is, given a parent function, write the transformation for the resultant function. That would have been like, oh boy, here we go. Number 14 from chapter 1 test. Yeah, Jacob. Sure. And then 1 question where given a parent function, write the resultant function given a series of transformations. That would have been like problem 15 from the test. So we'll recycle questions similar to those 2 for this one, again, because they come up, or those 2 techniques are important in the next chapter. So we're going to just revisit those because I wasn't, felt like we could do better there. You know what I mean? So we'll take another pass at those two topics. Questions for me about the test format here? Any clarification or whatever, Katie? Yes. But what you won't get SOHCAHTOA. Yeah. You won't get the point on the terminal side of a standard position angle formulas, like sine is y over r, cosine is x over r, etc. You won't get what the coordinates mean on the unit circle, like cosine theta is x, sine theta is y, tan is y over x. So those are things you'd need to make sure you've memorized. But you get a unit circle, which feels like a good compromise.
Like the whole thing.
The one that's on in the OneNote is the one I'm giving you. This guy here.
It's a little early to memorize this.
I'm not going to ask you to memorize it in this class. If you have plans of taking AP Calc, you'll want to have it memorized, because if you're, I know. Well, they're also laughing, I think, because they might have memorized it already from the integrated class.
Did you put something?
I did. I will.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I hate P-Calc. Silly, man. Thank you, sir. Have a good weekend.
You too. Anyways, what I was saying, if you plan on taking AP Calc, you'll want to have this memorized eventually. Shh. Because the equation sheet for the AP exam is a blank sheet of paper.
What?
So they expect you to know it all, including like unit circle, trig stuff. So I'm just saying, you don't need to memorize it for this class, but if that's an aspiration of yours in the future, you'll want to have it memorized at some point. So if you already got it, that's great. If you don't, I'm just letting you know. Doesn't have to be now, doesn't have to be tomorrow, doesn't have to be next week. At some point you probably want to do it. Or at least know it well enough that you can figure out the values for it without that. Other questions? Good one, Katie. You're welcome. That's important, right? I don't want to waste a bunch of time memorizing something I don't need to memorize. Facts. Okay. Let's talk about due dates then. So for Sunday, that's the 25th, we're looking at 1 through 50. Monday is the test date. And then the next Sunday is going to be 51 through 60, worksheet 1. That's in the OneNote and the review, also in the OneNote. Notice the worksheet 1 and the review both have answer keys attached to them, complete answer keys. So like, okay, Tuesday. Yeah, sure. Not Monday. You're right. Days of the week are hard. Everybody cool with upcoming due dates? Everybody's happy? Happy enough? Yeah. All right. Get rid of the test.
I agree. I say Thursday.
If everybody gets 100%, we don't have to take it next time.
Oh, no, that's so much.
I say that because it's never going to happen. I mean, I've been doing this job for 15 years, and never once has an entire class gotten 100% on a test. Yeah.
What's the highest average you've seen?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even look at the averages most of the time. Just if they're bad. It's like, oh, that didn't seem like it went real well. Let me look at it. But if they're good, I don't even bother with it. All right. Great. So that's that. Questions from homeworks or others? Anybody? Okay, no problem. If you guys change your mind, we're just going to spend the rest of the time in class working on stuff. So if something comes up and you're confused and you want to check with me or have me look at what you're doing, feel free to come on up, and I'd be happy to look at what you're doing and give you some feedback. Yes, sir. Absolutely.